Here in Canada, we have two main types of pension plans: defined benefit pension plan, or DB, and defined contribution pension plan, or DC. Defined benefit pension plans are what we see typically with governments and unions. They typically take your age, years of employment, and earned income into consideration to give you a pension benefit amount. The more you make and the longer you've worked there, the larger your pension will be. Your age comes into play when determining when you can retire without penalty. The rule of 80 is a common way to determine your regular retirement age. Your age plus years of service need to equal at least 80, otherwise you could be looking at retiring with a reduced benefit. The formula can differ from place to place, so it's worth looking into what your magic number is. With a DB, you pay into your pension every paycheck, and that's really all you need to do. The funds are managed by a pension company, so you don't have to worry about picking investments, rebalancing your contributions, or whether the market is up or down. It's a very hands-off, but not entirely worry-free situation. When we hear the word pension, we usually automatically think that our future is secure and we have nothing to worry about. But that's not always the case. Two examples are Sears and Nortel. When each company went bankrupt, their promised pensions became uncertain. In the case of Sears, pensioners received about 80% of what they were told. We also have to acknowledge that a pension isn't guaranteed to meet your retirement goals. Instead of assuming, it's better to be certain. If you have a DB, when you retire, you'll likely be given options to choose from. Each option will have a different payment and guaranteed pay duration. Typically, the higher the payment, the less the guaranteed duration is. The guaranteed timeline is meant to pay out a balance if you pass away within that time. As long as you're alive, you can expect to receive a payment regardless of the guaranteed timeline. Depending on your financial situation, instead of taking your pension, you might consider commuting your pension. At the end of the day, a pension company is a company. Pension companies might have a lot of expenses, and since they are guaranteeing a benefit amount, they might invest slightly more conservatively. Commuting a pension lets you manage the funds you've accumulated instead. This could have a number of benefits. More flexibility over payments. Pension plans will pay the same amount every month, regardless of whether you need more or less. Commuting your pension lets you have more control over your payments. Estate planning. Earlier in this course, we saw how the longer we invest for, the better our results become. If you're able to withdraw a small percentage while maintaining the principal amount, it can give you the income you need while preserving the funds for the next generation. More growth potential. With proper investment management, and depending on your financial situation, you might be in a position of continuing to grow your benefit amount instead of whittling it down. Essentially, you have more options, more flexibility, and more control. But it is important to understand the risks and have a plan. You don't have guaranteed payments, and if the funds are mismanaged, you could lose it all at your most vulnerable time. I wouldn't really suggest anyone commute a pension unless they are very knowledgeable or are working with a competent and qualified financial planner. Defined contribution pension plans, on the other hand, require a predetermined percentage of your earnings being contributed to it. Many employers will also offer a match, where they'll match contributions to a certain extent or to a specified max. This can be great because if we're able to match our contributions, essentially doubling our money, it's putting our compound curve a decade ahead of itself. I say can be because DCs aren't always automatic. They can require someone to opt in instead of opt out. This little bit of resistance can be all that's needed to stop someone from participating in the plan. Not participating is like giving up a portion of your wage, which is a ridiculous thing to do. Your end benefit amount is a combination of contributions and growth. The more you contribute and the more your contributions grow, the more funds you'll have in retirement. DCs usually leave it up to the employee to set an investing mandate, so it's important to make sure that your funds are invested and invested properly. DCs are essentially RSPs through an employer. Contributions are tax deductible, withdrawals are taxed as income, and they experience tax-free growth. So the more sustainable growth we get, the more benefit we get. If our funds aren't growing, it's going to put our retirement in jeopardy, whereas a properly invested plan can easily bring early retirement into the picture. DCs are very similar to Group RSP plan, the main difference being flexibility. If you leave an employer, a DC typically can only be moved to a locked-in retirement account, or LIRA, working similar to an RSP but stricter rules around withdrawing, being set up to be unlocked when someone retires. Both defined benefit and defined contribution pension plans are huge reasons why you'd work where you do. But you have to make sure that you're participating as much as you can and that your pension is optimized. Otherwise, it's like giving away a piece of your paycheck. As long as you worked and lived in Canada, there's two types of pension plans you can expect to receive: Canada Pension Plan, or CPP, and Old Age Security, or OAS. Every time you're paid, you pay into CPP. Each year, the government sets the pensionable earnings amount. You pay 4.95% of this amount to your CPP benefit, and any income earned over the pensionable earnings doesn't require you to pay CPP. If you're self-employed, you will end up paying double, or 9.9%, which represents both the employee and the employer amounts. When you retire, your CPP benefit will be based on your average contribution percentage per year, how many years you contributed to CPP for, and when we start receiving benefits. Someone who earns more for longer will have contributed more and should receive a higher CPP benefit than someone who earned less for a shorter period of time. The standard age for CPP is 65, but you can start beginning receiving benefits as early as 60, or as late as 70. Every month you start early will reduce your benefit by 0.6%, or 7.2% per year, up to a maximum of 36% if you started at 60. Delaying your CPP results in an increase of 0.7% per month, or 8.4% per year, up to a maximum of 42% if you delayed until age 70. When you begin CPP will depend on the rest of your financial situation. Ideally, we'd want to be in a position of choosing when to start CPP and not being forced into beginning it early or at an inopportune time. Good planning should give us options and prepare us for anything. OAS is not something we pay into directly, but instead is funded by taxes, and our benefit is determined by how many years we lived in Canada after age 18. The longer we've lived in Canada, the larger our OAS benefit will be. If you have a lot of taxable income during retirement, your OAS benefit could be clawed back. For example, in 2025, the threshold is set at $93,454, so your benefit would be reduced by 15 cents for every dollar earned above it, until it's completely reduced at an income level of about $152,000. Unlike CPP, you can't take it earlier than age 65, but each month you delay, your benefit increases by 0.6%, or 7.2% per year, or 36% if delayed until age 70. In 2025, the combined maximum CPP and OAS that someone can receive at age 65 is about $2,160 per month. So it shouldn't be looked at as a robust retirement option, but more so as a bonus or a piece of the bigger picture. All of the pensions we discussed in this lesson are considered taxable benefits and are taxed as income during retirement. So although the maximum combined CPP and OAS benefit is just under $26,000 per year, you'd be paying tax on that income, so your take-home income could be much less. By understanding how these types of pensions work, we can have a better idea of what to expect and how to make the most of them. We can also more clearly understand why we'd still want to save and invest even if we have a pension plan. We can create safety in our investments by diversifying, and we can do the same thing with our income. By having multiple sources of income, we can minimize our dependence on a single one and put ourselves in the best position to live our dream retirement.